Hello, Los Angeles Lakers fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The buzz around the league has been getting louder, and fans are whispering about something that feels almost unreal, like one of those moments when the air changes before an earthquake. Word is that Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek superstar who has carried the weight of a franchise on his shoulders for years, reportedly reacted with a surprising phrase when approached about the possibility of joining the Los Angeles Lakers. Sources close to the situation claim he simply said, "It's an honor." And let me tell you, that tiny fragment of a sentence has been enough to send shockwaves across every corner of the basketball universe. People are replaying that line over and over, trying to catch hidden meaning, trying to figure out whether it was pure politeness or a hint that his mind might not be as anchored as everyone assumed. Fans are debating nonstop. Insiders are speculating in hushed voices, and rivals are pretending not to look nervous while secretly refreshing feeds every few minutes. This rumor might be just that, a rumor, but it already feels like the kind that changes the mood of an entire season even before anything actually happens. What really fuels the conversation is the way Giannis carries himself. He is not someone who throws words carelessly into the wind. When he speaks with purpose, and that makes his supposed reaction even more intriguing. People close to the Lakers organization insist that the respect for Giannis runs deep, stretching back years, long before any whisper of this storyline even existed. They see him not just as a once-in-a-generation talent, but as someone whose work ethic mirrors the legendary figures that built the franchise's identity over decades. So when the rumor surfaced that he uttered those three little words, "It's an honor," Lakers fans felt their hearts skip a beat. They know how rare it is for a superstar of his caliber to acknowledge interest from such a historic franchise in such a direct yet humble way. And let's be honest, even the most loyal Milwaukee supporters felt the world tilt just a bit, wondering if the foundation they believed unshakable might be quietly shifting beneath their feet. Whether true or exaggerated, the quote has ignited a wildfire of speculation that refuses to burn out. Some insiders claim that the invitation presented to Giannis was not a formal pitch, not a full-blown recruitment conversation, but more like an exploratory feeler, the kind of subtle opening that big franchises are known for making behind closed doors. These whispers describe a meeting filled with mutual admiration, where the Lakers expressed their respect for the way Giannis has shaped his career, his commitment to excellence, and his relentless pursuit of improvement. Allegedly, the tone was conversational, almost casual, until the moment he delivered that now-famous line. Fans everywhere are replaying it in their minds as if they heard it firsthand, and analysts are dissecting every possible interpretation. Did he mean honor as in polite acknowledgement? Honor as in genuine excitement? Honor as in respectful decline? The ambiguity is suffocating, the kind that keeps fans awake at night scrolling through endless threads, trying to decode a superstar's heart. One thing is certain, Giannis rarely allows words to escape unless they truly reflect something he feels. And that alone has sent imaginations spiraling into every possible scenario. Behind the scenes, the Lakers fanbase is acting exactly how you would expect. They are not just excited, they are electrified. The idea of adding someone of Giannis' stature to a team already overflowing with history and expectations is almost too cinematic to process. Fans are crafting theories, connecting dots that maybe are not even there, stretching possibilities like elastic bands. They talk about legacy, about the allure of bright lights, about the chance to cement his name alongside the legends whose jerseys hang above the court. They talk about the potential partnerships, the chemistry, the stylistic blend, the marketing explosion, the cultural impact. They talk as if the deal is done, sealed, delivered, even though nothing has been confirmed. That is the power of a rumor involving a superstar, especially when tied to a franchise that thrives on spectacle. The Lakers do not just chase talent. They chase moments that define eras. And even the slightest hint that Giannis might consider joining them feels like the opening scene of a blockbuster yet to be filmed. But while the Lakers community basks in possibility, the Milwaukee faithful are dealing with a different kind of storm. They are proud, deeply proud, of the journey Giannis has taken with them. They watched him grow from a raw, lanky kid with limitless potential into a global icon, a champion, a face of the franchise whose loyalty has always been painted as unwavering. So hearing that he might have found honor in the idea of leaving feels like a bruise they do not want to examine too closely. They insist the rumor must be overstated, that the phrase is being twisted, stretched, molded into something dramatic because drama sells. Yet even they admit that hearing it stings, even if only for a moment. They know the league changes, superstars evolve, circumstances shift like wind patterns, and no team is ever completely safe from the gravitational pull of a franchise like the Lakers. That fear simmering beneath the surface is exactly why this story refuses to die. It taps into human emotion, pride, insecurity, hope, and dread all tangled together. As the rumor grows legs, analysts are diving into hypothetical scenarios like deep-sea explorers searching for treasure. They're talking cap space, trade packages, future picks, organizational direction, long-term plans, all of it rooted in the idea that Giannis's name and the Lakers brand were spoken in the same breath. Some believe this could be nothing more than a momentary spark, a simple acknowledgement blown out of proportion. Others argue it could be the first crack in a fortress everyone assumed was solid stone. But what no one can deny is that Giannis's alleged comment has opened the floodgates to endless speculation. Fans and insiders alike are navigating the rumor with the intensity of detectives chasing clues. They are replaying old interviews, examining his body language in past press conferences, interpreting smiles and pauses as if deciphering ancient symbols. And the funniest thing is, the entire frenzy was triggered by 3 words so gentle, so simple, that they could mean absolutely everything or absolutely nothing at all. The reaction around the league has taken on a life of its own, almost like a soap opera unfolding in real time, with every episode bringing a new twist. People are talking about the cultural shift that could happen if Giannis ever decided to make such a monumental move. They say his presence in Los Angeles would reshape not only the team, but the entire landscape of the sport, influencing trends, rivalries, narratives, and even the way younger players imagine their own futures. The Lakers have always represented glamour, ambition, and the idea that anything is possible under bright lights. So when a superstar as grounded as Giannis acknowledges that the idea carries honor, you can almost hear the gears turning in the minds of fans everywhere. What would it look like? How would the league react? Would it spark new dynasties or disrupt old ones? Speculation is not just running wild. It is sprinting at full speed, fueled by excitement, fear, and curiosity that refuses to settle. Inside the Lakers ecosystem, there's a growing belief that the franchise is always only one bold move away from shifting the entire narrative. They have a long history of pulling off deals that seemed improbable until the moment they became reality, and that legacy feeds the optimism surrounding this rumor. Fans talk about how Giannis's personality aligns with the franchise's desire for leaders who are fierce competitors but also grounded individuals. They imagine the training sessions, the collaborations, the iconic moments, the energy he would bring to every home game. They picture murals, jerseys flying off shelves, interviews where he talks about embracing a new chapter. Every fan knows this is speculation, yet they cannot stop visualizing it. And the craziest part is that it all stems from a single phrase that no one can even verify with certainty. But that is the magic of rumors in sports. They take on their own gravitational force and refuse to be ignored. On the other side, Milwaukee's insiders are doing their best to calm the waters. They emphasize his loyalty, his deep roots, the connection he has built over years of dedication. They speak about his love for the city, his appreciation for the fans who believed in him when he was still finding his place in the league. But even as they reassure the public, they cannot erase the tiny crack created by the rumor. Fans start wondering what might happen if the franchise hits a rough patch or if Giannis begins craving a different challenge. They replay the quote in their minds, imagining scenarios where the meaning shifts depending on circumstances. Some even say the idea of him acknowledging honor in joining another team is a sign of his maturity, his global mindset, his understanding of the business. Others take it as a warning signal. And through it all, the rumor refuses to fade. Industry observers argue that the true power of this story lies in its ambiguity. When a superstar speaks clearly and directly, the message is easy to process, even if the truth stings. But when a message is vague, when it is wrapped in politeness and humility, that is when people begin crafting narratives that may or may not exist. Giannis saying it's an honor, if he truly said it, leaves endless space for interpretation. Honor can mean respect without intention. Honor can mean interest without commitment. Honor can mean surprise, curiosity, flattery, or even strategic politeness. And because he is a global figure known for his sincerity, no one wants to assume he tossed the phrase out casually. That tension between humility and mystery is exactly what keeps this rumor alive, sparking debates across social media, sports shows, podcasts, and living rooms everywhere. Within Lakers circles, some fans are already imagining how this storyline could evolve over time. They talk about how the franchise is always looking ahead, thinking long-term, positioning themselves for opportunities that might take years to develop. They believe that even the smallest acknowledgement from a superstar is like planting a seed. It may not sprout immediately, but under the right conditions, it could grow into something unexpected. They imagine conversations happening behind the scenes, quiet discussions about vision, culture, legacy. They imagine Giannis considering what it would mean to join a team with so much history, the possibility of building a new chapter aligned with his identity and values. And even though none of this is confirmed, the mere possibility fuels excitement. It gives fans something to dream about, something to debate, something to hope for, even if hope is the only concrete thing they have. Meanwhile, neutral observers are enjoying every second of the spectacle. They say this rumor is a perfect example of how a simple phrase can transform into a storm that sweeps across the entire sports world. They point out how fans cling to any hint of vulnerability in the bond between a superstar and his franchise, how rivals perk up at the idea of a seismic shift, how narratives evolve faster than facts. They argue that whether Giannis meant something profound or simply offered a polite response, the result is the same: tension, anticipation, and the thrill of imagining the unimaginable. They say the league thrives on stories like this, stories built from whispers and possibility. And until someone steps forward with clarity, the world will continue spinning theories, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to fall into place. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. And so, the rumor continues to drift through the basketball universe, refusing to settle, refusing to fade, refusing to be dismissed. 3 small words: a superstar with global influence, a franchise built on spectacle and ambition, a fan base desperate for meaning, and a league that feeds on mystery as much as it feeds on competition. Whether this story leads somewhere monumental or disappears into thin air, one thing is certain. Those words, "it's an honor," have already carved their place in the ongoing saga of the sport. And fans everywhere will keep whispering, keep wondering, and keep watching the horizon for the next hint of what Giannis truly meant. As the discussion continues to swell, some insiders suggest that the emotional weight behind Giannis's alleged comment might carry more depth than people initially assumed. They point out that a player who has spent his entire professional life building a legacy within one organization rarely speaks openly about the possibility of joining another, even in a hypothetical scenario. So when a phrase like "it's an honor" enters the conversation, it naturally stirs curiosity. Fans begin to wonder whether Giannis might be quietly exploring what the next chapter of his journey could look like, whether he is evaluating not just basketball factors, but personal growth, family priorities, global branding, and long-term vision. They talk about how superstars often evolve as they gain wisdom and perspective, how their dreams expand, how opportunities shift, and how sometimes a simple acknowledgement can hint at a future that once felt impossible. And with the Lakers symbolizing opportunity on the grandest stage imaginable, every whisper becomes fuel for speculation. Across social platforms, debates are becoming almost theatrical in their intensity. Supporters of the rumor argue relentlessly that the phrase holds genuine meaning, insisting that Giannis is far too thoughtful to use such words casually. They break down interviews, gestures, and past statements like amateur analysts decoding ancient scripts. They cite the allure of a franchise rich in championships, iconic players, and generational moments. Meanwhile, skeptics push back just as passionately, claiming that people are reading too much into a polite expression, spinning a simple statement into a full-blown narrative because the league is starving for drama. They argue that Giannis has always embraced humility and gratitude, that calling something an honor does not automatically imply desire or intent. Yet, despite these opposing viewpoints, both sides feed the energy of the conversation. The back and forth becomes entertainment in itself, a storyline that refuses to lose momentum because neither side can prove anything definitively. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.